Welcome back to Houston Life. If you're looking for easy ways to add more protein to your day, you're going to love this menu. Tanji Patton from Goodtaste with Tanji and the podcast, Good Taste for the Soul, is back with protein-packed finds from local restaurants, plus a colorful protein bowl and a salad dressing. We've got some guys from Casa do Brasil, a local churrascaria. We have Umberto, Alejandro, and Jason in the house, who've been standing by. Tanji, it's great to see you again.
Well, great to see you again. And I didn't want to put you on a health trip if you didn't want to be on one. So I did bring Prosecco, low alcohol.
Well, made with grapes, right?
Yeah,
That's kinda healthy,
there
right?
you go. I didn't want to leave you out.
So this is a Josh lower alcohol Prosecco, right?
This is Josh. They do a non-alcoholic version as well. I grabbed the wrong one, so my bad on that. But they do a non-alcoholic version. And frankly, you're probably glad I did that one.
So this is the alcoholic version.
This is.
Oh yeah, this is the right one.
So drink up.
Thank you, Tanji. Okay, Casa do Brasil. So this is Galleria area, uptown.
Yes.
And a typical churrascaria, I mean, people think of more protein. A lot of people are on a high protein diet right now.
Yes, and that was the kind of the impetus for doing this protein segment. There are so many people, whether you're on the GLP-1s or not, that protein is just a healthy way to live, and your body needs protein, whether you're getting it from natural, just rice and beans and things like that, or meat. And that's the thing we're mainly focusing on. If you're on a GLP right now, you have to get almost a gram per pound of body weight, right? So you're looking for ways to really amp up the amount of protein.
Otherwise, people lose their protein, right? And so or they lose their muscle mass, right?
And muscle mass is, as you know, well, when you're young, you can work to get it back. The older we get, it gets harder to get back, and you don't want to shrink on the protein, right?
There you go. Okay, so Casa do Brasil, it's a beautiful restaurant, guys. You do such a great job. Talk to us about why this was at the top of your list.
This was at the top of my list because if you are looking for a lot of protein, they have every selection in the world of the traditional proteins we think of.
And you want to show us how you carve it, guys? Because this is, I mean, the big hunks of meat. It's a show. It's a whole experience, right?
Absolutely. This is a really fun place to go out with friends, family. A celebratory evening, right?
And this carving is done tableside, is that right?
They come to your table, and they keep coming. They'll come with like what he's got there. It looks like maybe ribeyes, right? And they'll slice some off, and then the next guy comes. They have these beautiful lamb chops. You take some of that. You've got fillets, right? So, and there's seafood. And if you're with someone that's not on your protein kick, you're in good hands because the salad bar there, phenomenal.
The salad bar is great, and a lot of the traditional, like the palmitos, like the hearts of palm there, or there's a little caprese salad. It's absolutely beautiful. Also, earlier we had a little shot of the red and the green cards right here, Tanji. And if you've never been to Casa do Brasil, it's a critical thing that we know, right? When you are hungry, the green means yes, more. And red means like, no, I'm taking a little break, right?
Yeah. It's kind of a good indicator if you're on a date, right? And the one you're with keeps that green card out, like, okay, bring it on.
Bring it on. Go hungry. Fun. That is your advice too, right?
Oh, absolutely. That can be your meal for the day. And then can you take stuff home that you don't finish at the table, guys?
Well,
no.
You can take to go, but don't overdo it, right?
Don't overdo it. Yeah, be respectful.
Thank you, guys.
Casa de Brasil, it is a wonderful place to dine, and it's really an experience.
And a very nice staff too.
Yes.
Tell these guys hello. Tell them you saw them on Houston
Absolutely.
Life.
Absolutely.
So patient waiting today. Los Tios. This is another Houston favorite. If you haven't been to Los Tios, they have one on Westheimer, one on San Felipe, one not far from the station over here, Houston, I believe.
I grew up in high school going to Los Tios. This was my favorite place to go. And I brought Los Tios because we recently shot an informational segment with the head corporate chef for Cisco Foods internationally, who happens to be in Houston, and talked about ways to get high protein. Mexican food, fajitas, is one of the easiest ways in our world to get that high protein.
Can we cue the applause track for that?
Yes.
Because this is some of the best news I've heard in a while. You need high protein, go get fajitas.
Fajitas.
There's the applause. There, thank you. See?
Fajitas with borracho beans, and you're going to be set. So I found that to be great news. You might not be able to do the margarita, maybe do a virgin version of it, because that's another thing. I've been told that on these GLP-1s, alcohol can be a problem for the folks as well.
Yeah, best to avoid avoid it entirely. Maybe do a skinny, or a taste of Brandon's. Taste of your neighbors, right? Can we talk about this puffy queso over here?
Okay, this is the Los Tios. This is a classic, right?
It's beautiful.
Los Tios has been in Houston, I want to say, what, 70 some odd years? A long time. The same family has owned it for decades now. And we used to go in high school, and that was the main thing I always wanted, was that puffy queso. And I was so excited. Reached out to Los Tios because it was my favorite, and they still have it, and they said it's still incredibly popular.
And do they still, Tanji, do the stuffed version where you can kind of like do your own? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's memorable. And the thing about Houston is we have great queso in town. Yeah. We really do. But Los Tios, people have their favorites, and Los Tios is something special. If you
and the thing about Houston, and I shout from the rooftops all along, I think Houston has some of the best dining, if not the best, in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Bao Ong, our wonderful restaurant critic at Cron, he worked in New York, right? And lived in New York. And,
also a great foodie city.
A great foodie city, but he said Houston is something else. And that's because the diners here eat out so much. It's such a global city, expectations are high, so you better be on your A game here.
It is so true, and I think the diversity in our city has, without question, influenced our food scene.
Yeah.
We have incredible flavors and combinations of flavors. Los Tios, we recently celebrated a friend's retirement. Susan Miller, we love you, at Los Tios on Westheimer, and it was phenomenal, phenomenal. Great, great, great. Okay, so Casa do Brasil, Los Tios, pump up the protein the next time you dine out, but you've also brought an option if we want to cook at home.
When we come back, I'm going to show you how to build a plate of food, a bowl, a serving that is like 120 grams of protein.
Wow.
One of the key kickers is the salad dressing that will blow your mind. Not only is it great, it's got a lot of protein.
High protein salad?
High protein
Who
salad
knew?
dressing,
Okay, Tanji Patton's going to show us how when Houston Life returns. Don't go away. Great job, y'all. Thanks so much. Well, we are back with the one and only Tanji Patton, who's been sharing some.
And aren't we glad there's only one,
Only
Derek?
one. Where did the name come from? That's a story for another day.
Okay.
You're the only Tanji I know, and I love it. So before the break, we were talking about dining options if you want to get high protein when you eat out, but now you're going to show us how to make this beautiful bowl at home. I love how colorful this is, Tanji. My mama always said, the more colorful you eat, the healthier you're eating.
The healthier you're eating, and you've heard the phrase, we eat with our eyes. Food tastes better when it looks better, right? It just does. So a shout out to Cisco's corporate chef, Neil Daughter. He walked us through on a podcast episode how to get more protein in your daily diet at home, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the ingredients that we're using to build this, you'll find them in most pantries. And if they're not in your pantry now, you may be inspired to put them in there. And a lot of times you can go in through, I don't know about you, but produce in my drawer, you know, I look for ways to use what's left. Otherwise, we throw away so much food in this country.
And I'm glad you brought up the produce, Tanji, because when we talk about protein, a lot of people immediately go to meat, which is a high source of protein. But there are plenty of vegetables out there. As a plant-based eater, I mean, there are plenty of veggies out there that can up your protein intake.
And a lot of it's about combination, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the keys as well. So what we're going to do here is start with grains. So I'll let you kind of build what you want.
Oh.
Don't ignore grains. Lentils are an excellent source of protein.
So you have lentils here and what, a combination of brown rice here?
Yes,
okay.
A brown rice,
this
kind
is
of a mixed grain.
My plate right here I can use?
Yep.
Okay.
So 1 cup of lentils, you're looking at about 18 grams of protein.
Ooh, nice.
That's a nice hit. And
that
if you like lentils, and you can do anything to lentils, you can mix them with all sorts of things, shallots, onions, tomatoes, peppers.
To add that flavor. Okay, that's about a cup right there,
all right.
I would say.
Then let's make your protein choice. So right now, here I've got chicken, and chicken is very lean. So you get a lot of bang for your buck protein-wise with chicken because it is lean. So about 3 ounces of chicken, roughly, you're looking at around 20 grams of protein. That's a nice hit.
Okay.
So let's say we're in that 18 to 20 gram range with your grains.
Okay.
We're gonna add another 20 grams with your chicken.
Okay.
And then from there, you can build on chickpeas, another excellent source.
Okay, about how many grams of protein are we adding here? My math is telling me 38 grams so far, 38 grams and counting.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Pump it up probably another 10 grams if I used the whole amount there.
Let's say we have about then 48 grams on this plate.
These are our lentils. I think what we did there was a little bit of a couscous mix with lentils, but we're
Okay,
going to get
it.
creative. And then from there, you can go on and start adding some of the color. So you've got your mushrooms.
Okay. Ooh,
mushrooms have a
slippery
lot of
little guy.
moisture in them, and if you don't overcook them and use salt and pepper, a little salt and then a lot of pepper, they go a long way.
Okay, you got some peas here, some edamame.
Edamame, another great source, another really healthy.
Soybeans.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on as I build this
right.
plate here. You have a high protein salad dressing.
Yeah.
And this is something, Tanji, I mean, typically salad dressings can have a very high calorie count.
Absolutely.
So this is a lower calorie, higher protein version.
This is, and it's a ranch dressing flavor. You could change it to be Caesar, whatever you like.
Oh, I like the sound of ranch.
But we're going with the ranch because who doesn't love ranch, right? So
some
it's
people
really
don't.
simple. Some people don't.
Some
Well,
people don't, and but they don't live in Texas.
Today, we're sorry, but we're in this. So I'm using Greek yogurt.
Oh,
Greek
okay.
yogurt is such a great item to keep around because there are a lot of interesting things you can use it with as a mixer.
Cottage cheese, is this a low-fat version or what?
Well, I don't like the low fat, but you can use a low fat. Yeah.
Okay, what
Because
do
it's
you
not
like?
going to affect. I like fully loaded everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what, a 2%, a whole cottage cheese?
2% is fine.
2%?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then this is your ranch dressing. Now, if you're into your own, do your own deal, get fancy with it.
And the curd size of cottage cheese doesn't matter because you're blending it up.
Blending
right?
it all up. You're just after the protein, and if you want it lean, by all means, a little bit of citrus juice there, and then we mix it up.
There you go.
So-
and that ranch, the seasoning, that's just available in your grocery store, right?
It's anywhere, yeah. It's in the packets. You know, back when I was a kid, I think that was the only way you could make ranch dressing was to buy the packets.
Well, there you
But that
go.
it has changed. But then you just drizzle it on there. So
Look at that.
In the end, you're upwards of 100, 100 and plus, depending on the portion size you use of one meal of protein. And then another thing that is key is water. It is apparently incredibly important. If you're drinking this much protein or eating this much protein,
Drink
you
your
need
water.
to drink a ton of water. And the fiber that you get out of this dish is also very important because you want to keep things moving, if you know what I mean.
You
And
absolutely do.
Fiber's a big deal.
Tanji Patton, let's take a quick break. This recipe, by the way, is on our website, HoustonLife.tv. Look for that scene on Houston Life section. By the way, the verdict, 10 out of 10.
Yay! I love
Great.
10 out of
Tastes
10.
like full ranch, but high protein. We'll be right back.